Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Yeshi Chanzom. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 21st of May. Cyclone swarms parts of India. Bangladesh rescue efforts underway. Pakistan's Prime Minister seeks debt relief for poor countries. And Bangladesh ferries orders to stop surveys to contain coronavirus amid Eid rush. And now for all the details. Indian authorities on Thursday carried out rescue and clearing operations in various parts of eastern India after a powerful cyclone Amphan left behind a trail of devastation and killed more than 70 people. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said his government will leave no stone unturned to help out cyclone victims. In neighbouring Bangladesh, the death toll rose to at least 15. Cyclone Amphan pounded eastern India and Bangladesh on Wednesday, killing more than 80 people and destroying thousands of homes, leaving authorities struggling to mount relief efforts amid a surging coronavirus outbreak. Indian authorities on Thursday carried out rescue and clearing operation in eastern West Bengal and Odisha provinces after being hit by the extremely severe cyclonic storm. West Bengal bore the brunt of Cyclone Amphan, which barreled out of the Bay of Bengal with gusting winds of up to 185 km per hour. Amphan's wrecking winds also left Kolkata airport flooded and many structures within damaged.
जो रेस्टोरेशन का काम है उसमें पहला काम हो रहा है कि रास्ते क्लियर किए जा रहे हैं, पेड़ जो गिरकर कटे पड़े हुए हैं उनको काटा जा रहा है, क्लियर किया जा रहा है ताकि रास्ते और आवागमन जो है शुरुआत हो सके.
Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in a series of tweets on Thursday said that no stone will be left unturned to help those affected by the devastating cyclone. He said that top officials are closely monitoring the situation and also working in close coordination with the West Bengal government. In neighbouring Bangladesh, at least 15 people were killed in the powerful cyclone that swept through the country, accompanied by a storm surge that swept embankments and destroyed hundreds of homes in low-lying coastal areas. The cyclone came at a time when the two countries are battling to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Airports across India on Thursday geared up to start operations as the government allowed domestic flights to operate from 25th of May, 2 months after the country imposed a ban on air travel as part of the coronavirus lockdown.
Airports across India on Thursday geared up to start operations as the government said it will allow airlines to begin some domestic flights from May 25th, 2 months after the country imposed a ban on air travel as part of coronavirus lockdown. India's Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri in a press conference announced domestic flights will operate in a calibrated manner and informed fares will be regulated. As part of measures, all passengers will have to wear masks and gloves. They will be subject to thermal screening and must have government's contact tracing app on their mobiles.
But just as it was very important, absolutely essential to have a lockdown early and ensure that the pandemic didn't spread, it is, I think, also equally important at some stage that you have to open up.
All planes were grounded for domestic and international flights in India from March 25th as part of the lockdown, although special flights to evacuate stranded Indians from abroad have continued.
Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan on Wednesday urged the developed countries to provide debt relief to poor nations struggling to cope with the coronavirus crisis. Pakistan's already struggling economy has been hit hard by preventive coronavirus lockdowns.
Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan on Wednesday urged the developed countries to provide debt relief to poorer nations struggling to cope with the coronavirus crisis that has battered their economies. Khan, while addressing an online session of the World Economic Forum, said that highly indebted countries like Pakistan lack fiscal space to spend on health and social support. He said his government had to ease lockdown restrictions and open businesses as it faced economic crisis due to the lockdown.
Eventually, we are all connected and the response has to be global. There has to be a way of picking up countries which are struggling right now, and especially in the developing world.
Meanwhile, train services also resumed partially across Pakistan on Wednesday after being suspended for almost 2 months due to the coronavirus lockdown. Trains are allowed to carry only 60% of their total passenger capacity to ensure social distancing is maintained, while passengers have to also follow precautionary measures. Pakistan on Thursday reported a total of 48,091 cases of the coronavirus across the country, with 1,017 deaths.
Moving on, several tribal families in Gilgit-Baltistan who earn a living by collecting and selling gold specks from sand along rivers are facing a hard time due to the coronavirus lockdown. They said they are struggling to survive in the absence of any government relief. Scores of tribal families who earn a living by collecting gold specks from sand along river and selling them to jewelers in Gilgit-Baltistan are facing a hard time due to the coronavirus lockdown. The traditional practice of separating gold from sand along the rivers has been practiced by the tribals since many decades in the illegally occupied region of Gilgit-Baltistan. As jewelry shops are closed, they are facing difficulties in earning their livelihood and buy essential food items for survival. They said they have demanded the government for relief, but nobody has paid any heed so far.
बाजार सब बंद है और हमारे पास इस वक्त बच्चे हैं, कुछ खाने पीने के लिए कुछ भी नहीं। इस वक्त हम भूखा ऐसा बैठा है ठीक है कि नहीं। इसलिए हुकूमत के लिए हमारा दरख्वास्त है कि हमारी मदद करें, क्योंकि हम बहुत मजबूर हैं इस वक्त।
Locals in Gilgit-Baltistan have blamed Pakistan for stepmotherly treatment to the illegally occupied region as they are facing a lot of problems due to the ill-planned lockdown. They have expressed concern that Gilgit-Baltistan, which has reported 579 confirmed coronavirus cases and 4 deaths so far, lacks basic health infrastructure to tackle the crisis. US Special Envoy for Afghanistan Zalmay Khalilzad, in yet another move to push Afghan peace process forward, held separate meetings with senior Taliban leaders in Doha and Afghan President Ashraf Ghani and his former political rival Abdullah Abdullah. The meeting came after Ghani and Abdullah signed a power-sharing agreement last week, removing a major obstacle to the US-brokered peace process.
United States Special Envoy for Afghanistan Zalmay Khalilzad on Wednesday informed he had a constructive meeting with senior Taliban leaders in Doha, including Mullah Baradar, and discussed with them issues related to the Afghan peace process. Khalilzad, in a series of tweets on Wednesday, said he told the militant group that the Taliban's violence by all sides must fall now. Khalilzad said the Taliban expressed its commitment to the US-Taliban agreement and its implementation. Khalilzad on Wednesday also met Afghan President Ashraf Ghani and his former political rival Abdullah Abdullah in Kabul and congratulated them on their agreement to form an inclusive government after months-long negotiations. President Ghani shortly after the meeting said they had discussed a ceasefire with the Taliban. He added they also discussed how to continue with the prison swap that the Taliban have demanded before beginning talks. Ghani and Abdullah struck a power-sharing agreement last week, removing a major obstacle to the US-brokered peace process. According to the agreement, Abdullah will hold talks with the Taliban and Ghani will remain on his president's post.
India has termed Nepal's claim over disputed territories of Kalapani, Limpiadhura and Lipulekh as artificial enlargement. The tri-junction is unresolved between India and Nepal as both continue to claim that they are part of their territory.
As Nepal maintained its claim on disputed areas of Kalapani, Limpiadhura and Limpulekh as part of its territory with a revised map on Wednesday, India termed it as artificial enlargement. India's foreign ministry in a statement said Nepal's revised map includes parts of Indian territory and that this unilateral act is not based on historical facts and evidence. It urged Kathmandu to respect India's sovereignty and territorial integrity. This came as Nepal's Minister of Land Reforms and Management during a televised press conference on Wednesday said the revised map has been issued on the basis of evidences which proves land belongs to Nepal. Earlier on Tuesday, Nepali Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli applauded his cabinet for raising the issue and said diplomatic efforts will be made to bring back the territories. The tri-junction is unresolved between India and Nepal and both claim that they are part of their territory. Tensions between the two neighbours rose early this month when Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurated an around 50 miles long high-altitude road from Dharchula to the disputed Lipulekh Pass.
In news from Bangladesh, despite the lockdown, thousands of people this week left capital Dhaka for home to celebrate Eid ul-Fitr with their families, putting lives at risk amid the COVID-19 pandemic. In Mawa Ferry Terminal, trucks and ferries were seen sitting idle as the government ordered vessels to stop ahead of the festival.
Trucks backed up near the Mawa Ferry Terminal in Bangladesh and ferries sat idle as the government ordered vessels to stop ahead of Eid al-Fitr, just as many residents in Dhaka had begun travelling to their hometowns to mark the end of Ramadan. The stoppage was put in place to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus. Police were seen manning checkpoints and guarding near barricades.
বর্তমানে করোনার কারণে এই লোকজন যে যেখানে আছে জনসাধারণ সেখানেই থাকবে এর জন্যই আমাদের এখানে চেকপোস্ট তো কেউ মাওয়া যেতে পারবে না যে যেখানে আছে সেখানেই থাকবে.
The restrictions on the movement in the country have been imposed as a preventive measure against the transmission of COVID-19. As of a Thursday tally, Bangladesh has had 26,738 cases of coronavirus and 386 deaths. Eid al-Fitr is one of the major festivals of Bangladesh and may fall on May 24 depending on the sighting of the Shawwal moon.
A museum in India's eastern Kolkata city is struggling to survive as revenue has been badly hit with no workers available due to the lockdown imposed to stem the spread of coronavirus. The Guru Sadeh Museum in India's eastern Kolkata city is struggling to survive as revenue has been badly hit with no workers available due to the lockdown to stem the spread of coronavirus. Established in 1963, the museum, consisting of artifacts collected by civil servant, folklorist and writer Guru Sadeh Dutt, wore a deserted look recently without any visitors present there to admire the artifacts. This has led to a lot of financial crisis for the museum authorities as they have not been able to hold any seminars or workshops. The museum staff also remain unpaid and that has impacted the maintenance of the artifacts in the museum.
Certainly the coronavirus, the pandemic situation in our world, and we are affected, the museum, the corona is the situation and the facing lot of financial crisis. We have not organized the seminar, we have not organized the workshop, and we have not any financial support. So we are the so many crises. The staff salary totally stopped. We are not preserved our artifacts properly.
India on May 17 extended a nationwide lockdown to May 31st. Schools, malls and other public places will remain mostly closed, though rules will be relaxed in areas with low numbers of cases. The total number of COVID-19 cases in the country rose to 112,359 as on Thursday. Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/AsAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @AsAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.